Good afternoon and welcome to Say Newsfile. I'm Nyakim Suheb. We'll have a look at all the highlights later in the show. What can we expect?
Well, Kim, we do have the latest highlights from the Calgary Flames, a look at the NBA play-in tournament, and even some stuff from a squash tournament happening here in the city. So exciting stuff for sure.
That's amazing. Brina Doucette has been hunting for some warmer weather outside. Brina, how is it like out there?
That's right, Nyakim. Spring has not sprung quite yet here in Calgary. We have already reached our record high today of -7 degrees and flurries. It is not nearly as warm in April as we are used to, with our record high being in 1926 at 16 degrees and our record low being in 1905 at -16. I'll have your full long weekend forecast coming up later in the show.
Thanks, Brina. Now here's a look at today's top stories. The arrival of the Easter long weekend means people are gearing up to travel even with COVID-19 still present. Philip Mihani has been covering the story for us today and joined us from the Fort Hills Medical Center. Phils, are people comfortable getting together this year for the holiday?
Well, Nyakim, the overall feeling people have is that they know the risks, but they feel that as long as common sense is involved, everything will be just fine.
The transmissibility of BA2 and the increase in contacts as people resume their normal routines. That being said, we are so far not seeing any large impact in terms of severe outcomes.
The arrival of the Easter holiday weekend brings the challenge of families trying to balance celebrating in large groups while staying aware of each person's personal health status.
So if you're going to gather, just make sure you're vaccinated and safe. And if you're immune compromised, don't go out, pretty much.
From the week of April 5th to 11th, Alberta has over 552,000 active cases. 1,053 people are in hospital, with 48 of those patients being treated in intensive care units. Alberta's total death count is now at 4,141. Many people are taking the opportunity of the extra time off to head out of the city. For those traveling by plane, some restrictions still are in place, and that's making some travelers feel safer.
I feel like a lot safer, and I feel like because of all the COVID protocols, people are also super make sure you wash your hands and everything. So I feel like the whole environment's a lot cleaner now, which I feel like just makes everything a little bit better.
The continued use of masks on airlines is also welcomed.
Which I'm still kind of glad that they're enforcing masks because of that, because it's oh yeah, I had COVID and I was on a plane with 200 other people.
Dr. Dina Hinshaw is stressing that indoor gatherings provide the perfect opportunity for easier transmission. She says it's critical not to attend a social gathering if you aren't feeling well, and says to consider the use of rapid tests. Nyakim?
That was Philip Mihani reporting live from Fort Hills Medical Center. Many people have been avoiding riding on Calgary Transit during the pandemic, worried about transmission on the virus. That's left the city with a deficit in transit funding. As Jaren Fisher reports, the Alberta and federal governments are stepping in to provide assistance.
Trains and buses are many students' main mode of travel. Cutbacks in the schedule during the pandemic had a big impact on their daily commute.
I missed the bus, I'd have to wait another 30 minutes and stuff like that, so it's a bit of a challenge. So I have to wake up 2 hours earlier to get to school.
Fewer trains and buses meant less money to support the system, bringing a cycle of issues.
Train and bus routes were delayed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This money will be used to bring capacity back up to maximum.
The federal government will be matching Alberta's $79.5 million, coming up to around $159 million for the public transportation in the province as a part of the new Alberta Relief for Shortfalls for Transit Operators program. Calgary will be getting the largest boost at a little over $82 million, while surrounding cities will be receiving around $400,000.
We still have a little bit more to go, but without this funding, I don't know what we would have done. This has gone a long way to helping us get back to the service levels that we need to provide. So this was much needed. We couldn't have done it with only federal funding. We absolutely needed that provincial match, and we're very close to being where we need to be.
And for transit riders, it's all about getting from A to B on time.
I would take it daily as I live in the northeast area, so it's my only means of transportation.
For State Newsfile, I'm Jaren Fisher.
Alberta's Advanced Education Minister Demetrius Nicolaides was here at SAY this afternoon. Nicolaides, along with SAIT President Dr. David Ross, announced the details on how the 2022 Alberta budget would be used to upgrade facilities here at SAIT. $41 million will allow for all the upgrading projects in the John Webb building.
We, of course, have targeted a number of different areas where we know there are shortages and will be shortages in the future. For example, we're looking to expand capacity and produce more healthcare aides, LPNs, individuals in the aviation fields and in tech.
Renovations are completed. The John Webb building will house all the hospitality programs at SAIT, including cooking and baking. The Alberta government says its new K-6 curriculum will be implemented in schools starting this year. This coming fall semester, English language literature will be introduced in K-6 and math for K-3, while grade 4 to 6 will start in 2023. The completed curriculum will be implemented in 2024 despite concerns from teachers and parents. The government previously announced the new curriculum will start with math and English for K-3 and K-6 this fall, and the rest of the grades will follow in the coming years. 2 years ago, the whole world got shut down by the pandemic, and in those 2 years, students switched their learning back and forth from online to in-person. Everyone tried to adjust to the pandemic lifestyle, but stress and pressure made it hard for some students to study. And having access to laptop during exams came in handy when it's come to cheating. In a study done way before pandemic, 50% of Canadians undergraduates say they have cheated one way or another. But this number increases during the pandemic.
There's a real problem with the academic integrity. It's not like the pre-pandemic times when exams were proctored, there was a live person, a live test. The rules are pretty set forth in academic policies at all post-secondary institutions across the province, but that sort of all gets thrown out the window when we have a pandemic and we're in lockdown.
SAIT's Academic Council sits together to implement changes and policies. Although it's a slow process, House is hoping for these changes to be effective in a year from now. Restrictions have been lifted on SAIT campus. Many students and staff are back to in-person learning. The parking lots are finally filling up, but not everyone is following the rules. Eastern Ham has more on parking tickets on SAIT campus.
SAIT is back at full capacity, and more people are driving to school. With this comes parking tickets.
Yeah, I was packing my truck, and I was maybe 10 minutes because I had all my stuff packed before. And then I came down for the second trip and I had a parking ticket on my truck.
It seems easy enough to pay for the parking spot and head to class, but for some students, it isn't so simple. Students who live on residence have a unique scenario and have received tickets for reasons such as parking to carry groceries or unpack.
So a few of them, I was either getting back from town and unpacking my car and they were just there and I didn't leave my hazards on.
No one wants to carry groceries on a 10-minute walk, leading students living on residence wishing they were given parking space closer to the building.
I think so. I think a lot of people are trying to park closer to the buildings or their classes just because it's a pain to walk so far.
Tickets can be appealed, but in some cases the price will only be cut in half. That's still prohibitive for many students on a budget.
If you have questions, you can call the parking office and work through in case, if you need to pay something off over a period of time and whatnot, but always willing to work with our students.
It may seem like more parking tickets are being handed out, but this may not be the case.
We've seen an actual decrease in parking tickets. So people are, I guess, learning their lesson as far as parking inappropriately, I guess you could say, and getting tickets.
If students want to avoid tickets, the best bet is, of course, just to pay for parking. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Easton Ham.
A shooting that happened early Thursday morning sent a man to emergency. Around 6:45 a.m. today, emergency crews responded to a call at a location near the Victoria Park Stampede station. The 20-year-old man was found at the Alpha House shelter just a block east of the station. He had a wound on his leg. He was then transported to Fort Hills Medical Center in a stable, non-life-threatening condition. Calgary police are investigating a number of precedent crimes against women. They range from indecent acts to sexual assault. As Jess Chu reports, this incident have many women feeling unsafe in their communities.
Really scared. I don't want to be in downtown alone, that's for sure.
A common opinion among many women when walking alone in downtown Calgary. Magjean Jordan posted this viral video on TikTok after she witnessed an indecent act last Thursday afternoon. She was walking through downtown when a man in a white truck followed her and exposed himself in a back alley.
Called the police, waited 41 minutes, nobody came.
Calgary police say they are in contact with the victim and understand the frustrations regarding their wait times. They are also investigating a series of 5 random gropings near City Hall. A man has been charged with sexual assault in connection with these incidents. Police say the man chose his targets randomly. His identity is not being released to avoid tainting the investigation. It feels unsafe and frightening for many.
Definitely have had experiences like that and know people who've experienced that sort of thing. I definitely say it is an issue that needs to have light shine on it, so yeah.
I usually even park really close to where I'm supposed to go, so that I don't have to walk too far alone if I have to.
Detective Craig Collins believes authorities can provide better support when victims have enough courage to speak out about their experience.
I'd much rather have you as a person come to me and tell me what happened than just receive an anonymous report where I can't ask you questions, I can't I can't talk to you about what your fears might be about coming forward. I can't offer you that extra support going to court. I can't offer you the extra services that we can do to try and protect you.
More than 300 women in Calgary were assaulted just last year. Police are encouraging victims to continue speaking out as it not only affects them, but their community as a whole. For State Newsfile, I'm Jace Chua.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full focus after this break with Brina Doucette. But first, Okelo Luri has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Installment, a one-night-only event that is driven by color and sound. Bold and vibrant looks are strongly encouraged to let loose and dance along the rainbow. This adult-only Easter egg hunt will bring back your childhood memories with an older twist. You and a group can race around a park uncovering and grabbing as many Easter goods as you can and see who's the best Easter egg hunter. Junction is hosting a glow party with laser lights and glow sticks. High-energy music will create a perfect balance of fun and entertainment. Saturday is Space Night at the Rothney Astrophysical Observatory. The night will feature access to an array of telescopes so you can sit high amongst the stars with your friend or spouse. Mosquito Agency is bringing their art exhibit named Chroma to Calgary Meat Hook Gallery. Catch the art pieces in person to diversify your palette.
Well, spring may not be on the way, but Easter, in fact, is. As we take a look at this lovely chocolate shop, we've got Easter set up everywhere with chocolate bunnies for kids, maybe yourself, who knows? We all love Easter, we all love chocolate. As we take a look across the country, let's start on the western side over in Vancouver, where it is nice and warm at 10 degrees. There is a cold front sitting over the western side of the country, though, as we can see these colder temperatures in Edmonton, Regina, and Winnipeg. Winnipeg was under a winter storm warning, but that has since passed. But if you are heading out onto the highways in Winnipeg, I would suggest you be careful due to the blowing snow onto the roads. As we continue on to the eastern side of the country, there is a warm front that has just blown in over the eastern side of Canada due to a warm front coming through the United States, which is why you are seeing these warmer temperatures on this side of the country. But there is a lot of rain coming down, so if you're going out on the eastern side, please bring an umbrella, as it is in fact raining lots. This rain might continue into the weekend, so I would definitely be prepared for an Easter egg hunt holding that umbrella. And if you are traveling this Easter weekend, let's take a look at those resorts. Palm Springs is sunny at 30 degrees. Barbados is seeing some rain at 29 degrees. Cancun is sunny and Honolulu has some clouds, but both are sitting in a nice 29 degrees. Orlando is warm, but there is a chance of thunder showers, and in the Sin City, it is 24 degrees and sunny. In Calgary today, it is still snowing as it has been all week. The temperature is sitting at a nice chilly -5, and the wind is out and blowing, so if you are outside, it's going to feel colder than what you expect. Coming up next and into the evening, there is some more snow. As we take a look at the province, If you are going out snowboarding or skiing this weekend, Banff is definitely the place to go because that snow is falling and the powder will be fresh. So if that's a plan this Easter weekend, definitely go out and do it. The warmest place in the province right now is Fort McMurray, as it sits at 0 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. The further south you go, the chillier it gets, as there is that cold front that's hanging out around Calgary, which will hopefully clear up by this weekend. So if you're going Easter egg hunting, it'll be nice and warm so the ground doesn't freeze and maybe the Easter bunny can hide some eggs. As we take a look at the 5-day forecast. Tonight, we are going to see that cold front continue to hang around at -13 as we continue into Good Friday. That low is going to stay as our high is going to be -3. Moving into the weekend, though, Easter Sunday, we are seeing a nice and warm 6 degrees as that sun will return. And if you're planning on doing anything, I would suggest doing it on Easter Monday as our high is going to be 9 degrees. Suhaib Yusuf will have a look at the latest sports highlights after the break.
I had it so good. I had my own car, great grades, everything in my life was going great till I ruined it all. Little did I know, this would be my greatest mistake. Drunk driving. Lawyer fees, disappointed parents, lost car, if only I listened.
Hey, you aren't good to drive home.
Friends don't let friends drink and drive.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry-standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is broadcast news. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Suhaib Yusuf, join us now for a look at the latest highlights. Suhaib, what can we expect?
Well, Kim, like I said before, we're going to see some highlights from the NBA play-in tournament, some stuff from the squash tournament happening here in Calgary, and we'll also be seeing the results from the Formula One Australian Grand Prix that took place this weekend. Nice. But before that, let's see the Flames. The Calgary Flames defeated the Seattle Kraken Tuesday night with a final score of 5-3. The Kraken opened up the scoring late in the first period, then minutes later, Hanifin responds with a goal, heading into the second. 2 goals scored by Seattle in the second period, and this put the score at 3-1 at the end of the period. At the beginning of the third, Dan Vladar made a series of incredible saves to keep the Flames in the game. The Flames capitalized scoring in the third period, scoring 3 of their 5 goals, sealing their win with an empty netter by Tkachuk. And taking a look at the Western Conference playoff bracket so far, we have the Flames first in the West. They are expected to take on the Nashville Predators in the first round. Calgary is 9 points ahead of the second place Edmonton Oilers, who are expected to face the LA Kings. The Golden Knights are still trying to squeeze into the wildcard spot. This will be the first time that the Knights haven't made the playoffs since entering the league. The Squash Canada 2021-22 Oxford Properties Canadian Open is underway at the Bow Valley Square downtown that features players from all over the globe. Many squash athletes actually started playing tennis first before they tried out squash. The two sports are similar, but a couple main differences would be the difference in the racket and the ball. For athletes competing in the Canadian Open, opportunities to play squash in venues like this is the true victory that they're looking for. The 2022 Formula season had its third race this weekend, and it was very eventful from the first lap till the last lap. Charles Leclerc of Team Ferrari started at P1. Lewis Hamilton started the race at P5, but quickly moved up to third place. Action was picking up fast, with Carlos Sainz ending his race very early in just the second lap. Sainz wasn't the only driver to lose control along the green. Many drivers ended up veering on the green to lose control. Max Verstappen also had to retire his car after experiencing some engine failure. He said to his team that he smelt something funny. He then pulled to the side. Definitely a disappointing loss for Max Verstappen as he was starting in second place. Charles Leclerc ended up winning the Australian Grand Prix with his fastest lap being his last. The last time Team Ferrari finished with a pole position in the Australian Grand Prix was with Kimi Räikkönen back in 2007. And taking a look at the current driver standings, Charles Leclerc adds 26 more points to Team Ferrari for his second first place finish of the season. George Russell of Team Mercedes still sits above his teammate for now, and despite ending his race early in the second lap, Carlos Sainz is still in the podium position. Sergio Perez from Red Bull Racing is sitting at the 4th spot, with Lewis Hamilton behind him by just a mere 2 points. It looks like January out there today, but believe it or not, the golf season is right around the corner for Calgarians. A relatively warm winter has golfers excited about an early start. Tony Trozo has the details.
The long-awaited golf season in Calgary is finally within reach, as opening day is set for April the 20th. Many golf courses within the city decided to open up their grounds over the past few weeks, which is one of the earliest starts to the season in recent history. But for Valley Ridge Golf Club, it's the proper preparation and setup that will make all of the difference.
Well, we took the tarps off about a week ago. Our superintendent likes to let those air out and let it take some sunlight and some fresh air. Just a lot of golf course prep, as well as prepping for things in our golf operation and in our golf shops, so that, you know, when members and customers arrive, it's mid-season form.
While the pandemic brought a lot of grim stories, golf seems to be one of the few things that benefited, since people were actually still able to get onto the course. The popularity of golf has continued to rise over the past 2 years, with total rounds up in Canada by more than 15%. Increasing popularity brings much more excitement ahead of the season. Many members were hoping to see the courses try to open even earlier, but the long-term success of golf will always be at the forefront.
I mean, it's a fine line, right? Like, you don't want to hurt your overall turf and, damage the course. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk and excitement about opening earlier, but obviously we don't want to cause any damages that in the long run is actually going to hurt us. So I think we made a very calculated decision and a correct decision.
Regardless, if you're looking to pick up a new activity this summer or a lifetime golfer, golf season is right around the corner here in Calgary. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Tony Trozo.
The NBA play-in tournament was underway this week, and it was quite a match between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves defeated the Los Angeles Clippers Tuesday night for the 7th seed in the Western Conference. Anthony Edwards got the first bucket of the game as he bulldozes through Paul George. Then later in the second quarter, he splits through the Clippers defense. Even 7-footer Ivica Zubac wasn't enough for Edwards. Then in the third quarter, Beverly puts up a three, but it hit the side of the backboard. But Edwards is there to clean it up and put the Wolves back on top. Back in the second quarter, D'Angelo Russell put up a pretty floater to tie the game. Paul George had an impressive night too, despite the loss. George put up 34 points with 6 threes. Jaden McDaniels was trying to guard George, but PG put on his ISO gang skills and showed how tough it is to guard him. And taking a look at the Western Play-in tournament, the Timberwolves became the 7th seed, where they will face the Memphis Grizzlies in the playoffs. The Clippers will face the New Orleans Pelicans, as the Pelicans defeated the San Antonio Spurs. Then whoever wins that match will become the 8th seed to face the number 1 seed, the Phoenix Suns. And taking a quick look at the Eastern Play-in tournament, the Brooklyn Nets beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they will be facing the 2nd seed Boston Celtics in the playoffs. The Atlanta Hawks blew out the Charlotte Hornets, ending the night with a final score of 132-103. The Cavaliers and the Hawks are to play tomorrow for the 8th seed, and the winner of that match will face the number 1 seed, the Miami Heat. And that's a look at sports. You know, Kim, we had quite a look today. We had some basketball, some race cars, quite a variety, I would say.
That's a lot. I wish there was something with our very own SAIT Trojans. It's been a big week in the world of entertainment. News on the newest movie premiere and concert, but a tragedy in the comedy world. Okele Luri has a look at the latest highlights. What's going on?
When you donate to the Salvation Army, you're not just donating a coat, you're donating another warm night for someone that needs it. When you donate to the Salvation Army, you're giving someone hope. So why wait? Give hope today.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
It's been a big week in the world of entertainment. News on the newest movie premiere and concert, but a tragedy in the world of comedy. Okello Luri has a look at the latest buzz. What do you have for us, Okello?
Well, in the Akim, we start out with sad news regarding one of comedy's most revered legends.
Probably know his face. You certainly know that voice. He is Gilbert Gottfried, of course. And
he doesn't even know my
Gilbert Gottfried passed away Tuesday night at the age of 67. The comedian and actor was known for his voice and crude humor. Gottfried has appeared in numerous well-known films such as the animated Aladdin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and stints giving his voice as the Aflac Duck. There were tributes from stars like Judd Apatow, Jon Stewart, and Mark Hamill. To lift your spirits, let's take a dive into the wizardry of this next movie.
The world as we know it is coming undone. Things that seem unimaginable.
Premiering tomorrow night is Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. This film sets Albus Dumbledore sending Newt Scamander and his team into the heart of Grindelwald's army. Johnny Depp originally played Grindelwald but resigned in November 2020, leaving Mads Mikkelsen to take the role. This is the third movie out of the Fantastic Beasts films and 11th overall from the Wizarding World franchise. In need of energy, the legendary Electric Six will bring the voltage to the stage of Dickens. The band has been active for over 25 years. Their music is described as a mix of disco, garage, punk rock, new wave, and metal. Fans may likely know them from their popular songs such as Danger High Voltage, Yamo Be There, and Dance Commander. Tickets can be bought online on their website. But if you need to slow it down, here's the perfect remedy. The self-proclaimed king of R&B, Jacquees, is bringing his heart-melting tones to the Palace Theater Friday night. Jacquees has his own flavor of R&B assertive classics with the sauce of pop melodic rap. The Atlanta singer will bring the melodies to his famous songs such as B.E.D., You, Your Peace, and At the Club. Tickets are on sale online. And that's a look at the latest entertainment news. Back to you, Niakim.
Thank you for reminding me about Jacquees' concert. I love her songs. Thank you, Okello. Hair braiding is formed by interlacing 3 or more strands to form a style. This kind of braiding dates back to 3500 BC, and today almost everyone enjoys braids. Tola Hissan has more information in the story.
For most Black women, hair isn't just hair. It is a form of art, expression, and protection. Today, I'm going to take you through the world of hair braiding.
Before you can get your hair braided, we oil it, put some cream and moisturizers in it to soften it, and then we get the hair piece, the hair extensions, put them, there's a way we get to prepare them for them to be used, and then once all of those steps are done, we're set to go.
Hair braiding can be a time-consuming process, but let's find out if this process is worth it.
It makes the whole hair thing more manageable. You know, it's just, you just get up and you go. You don't have to do anything about your hair. If you want to let it loose, you can. If you want to, you know, tie it into a bun, you can. And you can do lots of different styles with it. So I like that.
This hair took so long. Hey. You will first of all say, wow, it's beautiful. But it took so long. You now calculate the hours for me.
Hair braiding is not only a time-consuming process, it is also a very expensive process.
It's quite expensive, and it actually depends on the size of braid that you want. It goes up to 1,000.
I really love the end result.
Man, I wish I had my braids today. Brina, do you love braiding?
I love braiding, but my arms get really tired. I'm not as talented as those lovely ladies are. What about you, Suhaib?
I wish I had nice, cool hair that I could braid. I did get a haircut yesterday. You know, my hair doesn't look too bad. You know, I did get a fade. Check it out. Check me out.
Easter, hey?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching Said Newsfile. Have a good evening. Bye.